Did you use the link that I gave you? Okay. Go to front stage. I don't know. See, invite guest, add source, share screen. I think I have to do it. Okay. I right click on that and edit name or remove guest. Brand settings, graphics, background. Okay. I don't have an option to bring you forward. All right. Well, that's why we're here early. And let's see here. So they should have on the little right side a way of doing that. And I don't see it on my LinkedIn Live. Here, settings. Should be starting on it. Which there's a toggle on my thumbnail to maximize. Oh, there you go.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
There we go.
I don't know what's up with this background here. I can't get rid of this support thing. Let's just get a solid color. Oh, you got video clips in the background. So it's live here, but I don't see it actually on my my LinkedIn Live channel. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. Do you see it activated, or does it happen right at 1? See my channels. Let me see here.
Yeah, it looks like we're live on mine.
Oh, maybe it's just mine that's not showing it then. So you go to the event page, it's live?
No, I'm going to my profile.
Let me go to my profile. It's not. Oh, there we are. Now, why would they give us the worst, funkiest background? This seems like not cool.
But we're live. People are starting to comment. Let's kick it off. Hey.
All right. So let's
fun with tech issues. Hey,
let's do something normal, a little more normal. Wavy. I think I have to create a background next time. So we'll just do that. Boom.
Hey, there we go.
All right. And this stupid support things keep on coming up. I can't see the screen. God.
People are already
all right
behind the scenes.
Well, we're early. We're early just for these little foo-bars, so to speak. So if I go to the actual event, you can and let me give you access to the document. I'll shoot it to you. I guess on LinkedIn.
Sure.
And there you go. Because as a presenter, I may not be able to have access to that link, to that. Yeah. And then when the live happens, what I'll end up doing is I will chop off all the extra stuff and then redo that.
All right.
So on the document, I'll go through it real quick and
Sure.
appreciate being the guest for this. I'm going to start doing some of these lives weekly, and I have my monthly show as well. So we have a couple thousand people registered on the monthly, and I was like, you know what? There's so much information, so many people to talk to, and so many people are doing things well. And I wanted to kind of connect with all these great people. And I've been talking to you, Carl, for quite a while. And so I know that you have a monthly workshop, and I have a couple of documents, and so do you. So what I want to do is start right on the hour, so we get 8 more minutes here.
Yeah, I don't see a way I can send a chat to the people that are. I have a private chat with you, but I don't see anything about a public one where I can share a link with people.
You know, that seems like a bad thing.
Yeah.
seems so. I guess let me just try to turn off my LinkedIn and turn it back on again, and see if I can text on my phone, which that would probably be a bad idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't disconnect your LinkedIn. I think it's we can always just post it in on the comments to the or like edit the post about the event.
It's pretty interesting because I'm on the page, but I don't see the video playing. So you see the video playing actually on the live page?
On my profile page, I see it says join live up at the top. Is there a join live button on the app?
No. Yeah. Well, we'll just kind of go with it then. Any people are chatting inside the event?
There are 3 people in Restream who it says LinkedIn user Danielle Oregon and another LinkedIn user have. People are posting in the chat here. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, because on the live event, I don't see it at all. Well, maybe it'll show up at right at 1 then.
Yeah, so I can.
You see my chat.
Yeah, there's one other attendee. Yeah,
we got.
There's me and Danielle are in here.
Yeah. Maybe it's a software issue.
But people are able to join it. Oh yeah, then there's comments over here. Yeah, I see comments here.
All right.
Yeah, so I see Danielle's post here.
I'll just go to my page. That way, maybe can you comment on your other device?
Yeah, I can comment on the LinkedIn.
All right. So I don't have access to my Google document on my phone, but what I'll do is I'll just view my profile and go from there.
Yeah, I can chat with people through the LinkedIn live page. I have access to that. I just won't watch it live.
Yeah,
otherwise, I get a feedback loop.
All right. So I don't have access to the Google document on my phone, but there you go. Well, I see it on here. We'll just roll with it. And if anyone has any issues, we'll check on the event. Let's see here. Just for giggles. I'm going to go to the event here.
Is it Ryan Tully? Am I pronouncing that right?
Ryan Tully.
Ryan, cool. I haven't seen Ryan with an E before. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm going to the page. It's kind of weird because the actual page, there's no comments on it on the schedule event here.
Is there a join live button on the event link?
It says invite, edit, manage. Maybe it's because I'm the host.
Yeah.
But you should be able to see maybe a technical thing. So when you go to the actual live link, not your profile. Do you see the same thing, or does it look like this image?
I see the actual stream. I have it paused right now, and I see the chat.
Okay, then it's just because I'm the one presenter then, which seems to be an odd bug there.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so it is close enough to the top of the hour, and we'll get started. We have a guest today, is Carl Ponteu. Is that how you say it? Ponteau. Oh, it's French. And so we have spoken a few times before. We've known each other for about 6 months. We both do a lot of content development, and you had some specific strategies that you wanted to talk through. And typically, most individuals, most people that are producing content have a lot of different type of issues. The first issue that typically comes up is trying to figure out what to post. Getting those creative ideas in order to post, scheduling it, breaking it up to see if maybe another agency, or getting ideas for your assistant to kind of post some of this content, or sending this content out to your team to kind of create these other type of content items, such as PDFs and polls and different things that are specific to LinkedIn. And right now we have a couple of people on. We have Austin, which I know pretty well. Mike Sales. Mike, is that your real last name? And then we have Ryan Tully. So I appreciate you guys here. And so tell me a little bit about you, Carl, what you do, and what makes you happy.
Sure. So I actually have a story about why I started my company that informs the how and the what. Can I tell you that story?
Yeah, we'll hear that one.
All right, cool. So I've been an artist my entire life. I grew up drawing, painting, sculpting big Legos kid. And I got my passion for storytelling from my dad. He's a really good storyteller. And I knew I wanted to study animation when I saw the first Toy Story film. I was like, ooh, Dad, I got to do that. That's so cool.
How old were you?
Like early, like freshman in high school. And then beginning of 2002, I started to feel like something wasn't quite right with me physically. I've been a competitive swimmer my whole life, so I knew what I was supposed to feel like. And it wasn't like, oh, my shoulder kind of hurts. It's like a general blah feeling. But by August, they still hadn't figured out what was wrong with me, and I had lost 50 pounds, had sunken cheeks and eyes. I was really pale, started to get really bad headaches. So my parents took me for an MRI up in Walnut Creek, and we were waiting around for another appointment when my pediatrician called and said he's going to drive up from Pleasanton to come talk with us. And we saw him walking up with this big envelope in his hands. You could tell he'd been crying, and he brought us into a little side meeting room. I remember I was sitting knee to knee with him in this big U-shaped chair with really high armrests, kind of leaning forward towards him, when he pulled out the results of the MRI and showed me that I had 2 brain tumors. And it felt like I got punched in the chest. I actually moved backwards in my chair. And for the next 2 weeks, everything sounded like the adults from Peanuts, kind of wah, because never had the flu, never broken any major bones, never been stung by a bee. I'm pretty sure I've never been bitten by a mosquito. So to get brain tumor diagnosis at 15 years old was a complete sucker punch out of nowhere. But I got so much help from friends and family, and my high school adjusted my schedule and got me a tutor so I could still graduate on time. And people I barely knew were giving food and gifts and other supports. It really inspired me to want to give back and help as many people as I could, because I'd probably be dead if it wasn't for all the help that I got. And then in undergraduate school, as I was studying animation, there was a big student digital art and design competition I participated in, with this big screening at the end of like 1,000 people in this big auditorium. I knew maybe 10 people in the room, but when everyone laughed at the joke of my animation, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And connect with people and have a bigger impact with animation and storytelling. So after grad school, I started my company, and we tell exceptional stories for exceptional impact, empowering tech, biotech, healthcare, and professional services companies to increase their revenue and profits by attracting more of their best clients using storytelling and animation. No matter whether your business is B2C or B2G or even B2B, they're all really H to H, which is human to human, and humans tell stories. And so by helping those sort of companies, more people in the world get their lives improved, our clients' businesses better, we get a happy client, everyone wins. It's a way for me to have a bigger positive impact on the world around me, and that's why I do what I do.
That's awesome. So it started with Legos. That's what I got out of this.
Yeah,
Did it really start
I
with
grew up
Legos? Was the first bit of inspiration before Toy Story?
I mean, it was listening to stories from my dad and being very creative and enjoying like creating little stories and building stuff with Legos. And so combining that with um, a desire to help people after their brain tumors, and I realized I could use stories and animation as tools to help people be more successful, because everyone has amazing stories in their life, not necessarily as not to be as much traumatic as what I went through, but they have stories worth sharing, and they often don't realize that they have this wealth of stories to share, and if they know how to tell them properly with the right people, they can have amazing impacts on their business, because people are wired to tell and remember stories and hear them, and so it's a really powerful tool for businesses when they know what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I have to show you something that my sons helped me build. I don't know if you can see that. It is a Lego ATT,
Oh,
and
nice,
yeah, so I'm a little Lego nerd myself, and I had a gaming company, a gamification company before,
nice.
and I wanted to kind of tell my story on that, and have something unique. And I did this many years ago. It looks like I don't know if anyone's old enough, but software boxes, the CDs and all that, these
Yeah.
come in boxes like this, right? So
Yep.
I designed this, and it's my ISO Interactive was my last company,
Yeah.
and now I have the Troy agency, but I actually designed a mini office in there,
Oh,
and I
nice.
have a little thing, and it has a video player. And you talk about animation, the battery's dead, of course, but it was like a little flat screen on it, and it
Yep.
showed my reel on it. And so I said, you know what? Creating a unique story or unique piece, they won't throw it away. It's not like a business card.
Yeah.
They'll keep this on their desk. And we hand built these. Well, the box we got produced, but I designed the box and everything. And there's so many different ways to kind of tell your story when you're human. Of course, what you went through was very traumatic, but you've taken that and you say, you know what? I'm going to make this. I'm going to be able to do something with this, with not just with my story, but to teach other people how to tell their story. And so
Yep.
I haven't seen any of your animations. I'd like to take a look at it a little bit later, because I know that you were talking about storytelling. But I just got a note that, hey, you should take a look at his animations. I'm like, what? He didn't even tell me anything. I know this guy for like 6 months, and he hasn't showed me anything. So I would invite you to show me what you've been doing. And I have an old animation reel for my guys. So I
Cool.
love the gamification business, and it was and developing games is another form of story making.
Yep.
I see you have a cat, either
Yes,
that
this is Cosmo.
or a furry tentacle.
Yes, this is Cosmo, and he's very interested in getting attention whenever I'm trying to be productive at work. And so he's
Sounds like my daughter.
Yep.
My daughter will bust in the meeting. She'll like walk down. She's in school right now, thank goodness.
Yep.
But she'll walk in there and just take over the meeting. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I have this kind of. I'd love to talk about kind of what the helping people that have all these great stories to tell, but don't really know how to find them, how to identify them. There's this great process that I use that I'd love to dive into. I think I sent you a link to it. I can put it in the chat here.
Yeah.
But it's something I use.
What I can do is I can copy all these links and put it into the private chat, and you can probably add it to the live.
Yeah, actually, I think I have a link here. I'm gonna put it. I'll try and put it in the live chat. Maybe people can see it. I'm not sure if how many people are there, but it's basically there's this there's something called a character diamond, which if you think about real diamond, it's the okay, there we go. So the top of the diamond is not the part that really makes it shiny and brilliant. It's all the facets underneath that reflect the light back and really make it sparkle. And so one of the mistakes most companies make is they talk way too much about all their successes, all the things they do really well, all their wins, and like the awards they've won, and they're not nearly as endearing or powerful as some of the other stories I should share. And so, what the great thing about the character diamond, there's a link to a worksheet for people in the chat here that you can download a PDF version of this. Or basically, the top part is basically you can list 5 wins from your life that you could tell good stories about. Then the bottom is basically you talk about times where you failed or things that you got mistakes you've made, and where you and obviously need to have some discretion there, but like it's often those failures or those learning experiences where you made a mistake, that it's sharing those sorts of stories really connect you with more people, because people are drawn to those who have had a shared experience with. And when you show that vulnerability and really open yourself up and be more human with your messaging and not trying to have that Instagram perfect view of yourself, then people gravitate more to those because they feel like they get to know the real you, and they realize you are a human being, and you have had shared experiences like with what they've been through, and it leads to a lot stronger relationships, which leads to the clients or the referrals or the hire, that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably share my screen.
Sure.
Do you have that capability as well? I'll just go ahead.
I think so. Yeah.
I'll just share the screen and open that PDF, and we'll get the.
Okay.
There you go, right there. So it says unlock your inner storytelling worksheet. So it looks like you have like 4 different areas that you can write down. So
so the ones on the top is where you put your wins,
Can you
your
see the screen, by the way?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Oh yeah, the live is a little delayed on the mobile device. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so the top 5 lines, you want to write your strengths, like things that you're good at, that you're often like, what do you think of like your selling points for you and your business? And then you'll come up with stories that are examples of when you use those strengths. And then below the bottom 5 lines are where you write down kind of what your weaknesses are, and or times where you've made mistakes and what you learned from them. And those are 5 more stories you can tell. And then on the left-hand side are basically your kind of emotions that you feel, kind of like your fears, anxieties, things that stress you out. And on the right-hand side, you talk about the sort of impact or goals you have for your life or for other people, that the sort of impact you want to have with your business or your life. And it's usually the emotions you have on the left-hand side of that diamond that inform the sort of impact you want to have on the world on the right-hand side. So when you fill this thing out and have all these stories to tell, you know that you can talk about more aspects of your personality than just the wins, and more things about your business than just the wins. And it's those often the stuff on the bottom and the left that really draw people in, and make for really engaging, exciting content. For example, I made a LinkedIn post about one of my. I was feeling some imposter syndrome yesterday, and so I realized it would be a great LinkedIn post. Let me see if I can actually share my my little diamond here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Let me share a PDF window. Here we go. Window. There we go. So this is my character diamond that I filled out in the same thing here. And so I have success stories, like cancer story, like I just told you. And I have these stories of working with clients that I really like to share. But then the one I shared on LinkedIn today, 9 a.m., was about imposter syndrome and how I sometimes feel like I am good at what I do. I know what my strengths are, but I still sometimes feel like I'm out of my element, and then people realize I'm a fraud. And the post is all about how I actually love that feeling, because it means I'm pushing myself and growing as an entrepreneur. And so,
you're moving into an uncomfortable zone. I see, and that's where you grow.
Yeah, and so that kind of shows how informs like wanting to help improve self-confidence and help entrepreneurs. On the right side of my character diamond, that's where that this imposter syndrome feeling informs the sort of impact I'm trying to have on the world, because I understand how it feels to be trying to grow a business and not be exactly, sometimes unsure, not be completely confident in what I'm doing every single moment. But it's when you don't feel that, it means you're not growing and improving yourself. So that's kind of the aha moment I had yesterday that led to a post that is getting some good interaction today. So it's, could you not see my screen there?
You just shut it down.
Okay.
We were seeing your screen.
Okay, cool. Um, so that's the sort of stories that I think most people are often don't think is worth sharing, but it's those ones that really help people connect to you as a human being, because you're talking more about real, authentic human emotions and not just kind of a press release style canned marketing messaging that you see a lot of people post on their LinkedIn or on their blogs and stuff. And it's
Yeah, you're so right. I tell my clients, they say, "Oh, what do you think about this post?" And of course, everyone has an opinion on what they like, but there are statistics on what people engage with and what they don't, and you have to figure out that right segment that will engage with you for the right reason. So if you have things that are very commercial, people are. It's kind of like a pattern versus a sign. They don't really want to engage. People don't read a lot unless it's specifically like a LinkedIn article or something like that. But they have these long blogs, and they have these large PDFs and stuff. And if people haven't really asked for it, they're not going to really engage. Especially during the pandemic, people are interested in really what's happening, what affects them, what entices them.
yeah,
Because we just don't go out as much. Well, I don't. I still go on network meetings, personal network meetings, but I would say I'm probably a 30% right now compared to what I used to do before the pandemic.
yeah,
And it will increase. I think it will increase quite a bit, but I don't think it will ever get back to the exact same level, because now people are able to work remotely. And so if you're going to post stuff, that's a remote thing. So you have to really think, how am I going to help that individual? Number one, relate, and number two, them to take some sort of action. Whatever that action is.
yeah,
And so my posts do fairly well, but I do have a large network, and I think I had one post last week that made 20,000 views, and some of my posts only have 500 views. And I also know that there is sometimes even a business opportunity. So it's not just the posting; it's just like who's engaging and why. And when they're engaging, if it has to do with something I could help them out with, well, why don't I engage with them off the post? And
yeah,
do something simple like thanking them for posting on it. And if they want to talk about it, feel free, and leave it up to them, not to sell them or anything, but to actually thank them. And so there's a plethora of tools that people, they don't think about, and they think it's difficult, but I don't think it's that difficult if you create kind of a process. For example, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? Well, you change your clothes, you brush your teeth. Well, I hope you brush your teeth.
yes.
you
Brush
know,
teeth,
uh,
shower, yeah,
yeah, and you do the normal things you have to do. I'm a single parent, so I have a whole plethora of extra things I got to do in the morning, and I have to switch schedules around and stuff. But we do things every day. So whether you believe it or not, yeah, you have a routine. Just be conscious on some of the routines. And the diamond that you showed is really a deeper level thought process. It's not a mechanical process. It's a process. What I tend to do when I create posts, I want to create posts that are real. Excuse me, there's a little gnat here. One gnat attacking me is like, yeah.
yes,
Um, and some of them posts aren't so nice. I wouldn't say they're super negative, but I had a bad experience at Waffle House, And I had literally 20,000 people, on that. But I am not going to. I'm going to engage authentically, and I will thank them for posting. But I'm not going to drive any business off that type of post. It's not appropriate. And so, you shouldn't really post things to get views. You should post things to be a real person, because I always say, if someone ever wants to know you, be your friend, or even do business with you, you have to pass the litmus test. So when you're posting content, they got to say, this person is posting stuff because he's told to post it, or he's posting stuff because he loves what he's doing and he's doing something worth the time for doing. And so I always veer on the other side whenever possible, and to actually create content that I think is fun, and hopefully other people think it's fun too. And so those thought processes that you have, imposter syndrome, you did a whole post on it. It could be something like, what did I do today that made someone's life better? And that's maybe a little too dramatic, but what did I do today to help a client? You have a job, right? You have something going on. Well, how did you solve that problem? How do you do one thing or the other? I'm so sorry. This chat, I wish I could just turn the thing off, the need help chat there. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carl. I was distracted.
For the post, about the imposter syndrome, it was because it was such a weird experience, because I just got out of a meeting with a new client that went really well. So I was feeling really great about myself, and that I was doing really good work, and then the clients are getting value from it. And then I went to go work on preparing for a presentation I'm giving later today. And it's had this huge wave of like, there's no way I'm like good enough for this. And I just went from this really high to like a really low, like panic attack almost. I was like,
that's the life of an entrepreneur.
I was like, I was just feeling great like 30 seconds ago. Why am I suddenly feeling awful? And it was, I realized, because it doesn't feel fun to go through it, but it's a great way of knowing that I'm pushing myself and I'm growing and I'm improving and not plateauing, not getting complacent, because especially as entrepreneurs, if you're not like growing, and continuing trying to like improve and keep moving forward, your business is going to get lost in the dust. And so being able to recognize that imposter syndrome, while it's uncomfortable to experience, is actually, if you're feeling it, actually it's a good sign that you're doing something right, because you're pushing yourself and you're growing. Maybe realize a great headline for the article, for the post, which is, I love imposter syndrome, which most people was like, why would you love imposter syndrome? That makes no sense. Well, I don't love going through it, but I love that in hindsight, once I kind of calmed down, I was like, that's a good sign that I'm doing the right thing. Yes. I'm going to put more effort into this sort of work. And so I think it's something that it's a story that I think it's a great demonstration for the sort of content that you can post that is not what people expect people to talk about on LinkedIn, because you expect people like just to be about, I did a great thing with these clients, are super happy, buy my stuff, which is not the point of the article or the point of the post.
Yeah,
it's about.
Don't you love those LinkedIn messages?
Yeah,
hey, I can help you with this. Go ahead and buy it.
Yeah, I'm not here to buy. I'm here to make connections with people. And
well, that's what I mean. To be honest, I always have I try to have a giving mentality, right? But you have to have a limit on it. You have to can't say, I'm gonna help everybody and their mama. Some people you don't want to help, and you want to make sure that you're helping the right people. And also, I have certain rules that I have to keep myself in check. And of course, I made my own mistakes. Where, for example, if I'm booking meetings, I have a vetting process. They have to fill my form out. If they don't fill a form out, they're not going to show. And I only have I think 2 or 3 spots a day for this quick meet and greet meeting, so I can solve a problem or meet with them or whatever. If I didn't, I would have literally 80 meetings a week. I would not be able to get anything done. And so you have to have a giving mentality on one side, but then you have to have enough emotional intelligence to know how much time to spend in what areas. But in general, I always feel that when you are out there talking to people with a giving mentality, you actually get a lot of information back. And that information is information you can use for posts. I mean, that's all posts are. Posts is some kind of thing that happened, some kind of information, how to do this, how to do that, what happened to me, how did I solve this problem, how did I deal with this situation. And so having those conversations really helps me. And I will say there's when you engage with someone, like today, I didn't know you did all the animations. I learned that right before I saw links. I said, oh, I know this guy for like 6 months. Um, but there's three things. I always say, like, look, if I help them, I put out good energy in the universe, my good deed for today. And people say, why would you do that? When you help someone, you actually feel good. It's weird. Helping someone makes you feel good. So it's almost it's not a selfless act like people think. Troy, you're such a kind guy. Well, I am, but it's not the reason. It's not the sole reason, because I have that goodwill. The second thing is that if you solve their immediate issue, they may become a client later on. They may say, oh, well, there's 15 other things I need to get fixed, and maybe Carl's the person to fix it. Or they could say something like, hey, this is really great, Carl. I can't afford it. I said, well, did you do what I asked you to do? I said, yeah, it helped a lot. I said, well, can you give me a referral? You can ask them.
Yep.
50% of your business is referrals, So I would like to talk about go back, because I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but talk about how to create those ideas for creating posts. What things to do, what things not to do. And your diamond was a good starting point. One other thing is scheduling. Do you have any advice on how to manage creation of posts and scheduling?
Yeah. So definitely it's good to have a sort of rhythm. I try and when you're posting it, I post every day at 9 a.m. on LinkedIn. And consistently do that. I don't use a scheduler because actually LinkedIn usually tell when if you're not engaging with your post afterwards, it gets like the algorithm kind of punishes you. But it's about when I'm just thinking about what I'm going to write. I usually write stuff. I have a dedicated time during the week where I know I'm in a kind of creative space based on like the time of day it is. Usually it's the afternoons for me, and I'll write out a number of posts. I'll basically look at my diamond and go, what haven't I talked about yet or lately, and I'll think about kind of what else I'm going on, like what I'm putting on my blog, and I kind of create content that is related to one of the stories from the diamond, and through other like pieces of content I'm putting out. Like I'll do a post on my blog this weekend that's basically recording about the workshop I'm doing later today, and so I'll make content on I'll tell stories that relate to those sort of topics. And then I do try and chunk out, have like a dedicated writing time every single week so that I get it all done at once. And when like in the zone, because if you write stuff the wrong time of day, or if you're like rushed or hurried, then your content, the quality goes down. If quality goes down, then.
So how much time do you take? I mean, there's different kind of posts, and we'll get into that, but how much time do you allocate to create a post?
Well, for me, I'm one of my strengths is kind of the storytelling and the writing and stuff, so I can crank out a week's worth of posts in a couple hours. Again, some are longer than others, but none of them are really super long. Because people don't like, if you click on the little read more button on LinkedIn post and like your whole screen's filled with text, that gets kind of people don't want to read all that much. And so when it comes down to like actually designing, come up with posts, I think about the stories I can tell. I think about there's kind of some formats for posts that I go over more in my this workshop that this handout is from. That is basically types of posts when it comes to more analytical or observational or comparing two different things, or talking about telling a story, like the imposter syndrome one. Could be something where I'm comparing like present and future things. Michael Smart was asking, what's the average length? where do you get your ideas? So the length, one of the good like for marketing content, especially on LinkedIn, concise and clear is better than clever and complex. And so you want to, I usually try and keep things between like 150 to 200 words, or less, and come up with ideas. Is that the character diamond helps kind of with here's what the story or the topics I want to talk about, and then the actual formatting for the posts. There's
by the way, I did post it. Hopefully you saw it. I don't know if it's gonna be on your LinkedIn Live or mine.
Yeah, I'm seeing it in the chat there.
Okay, good, good. Because I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think the host probably doesn't see it as much as you should. But
I have to use my phone, so you got to forgive my grammar as I'm trying to post these things up here.
So the ideas from the post, what stories you can share that are going to be really authentic and really ring true to people, won't sound too salesy, are going to be basically the in that character diamond, the stuff on the left and the stuff on the bottom. You can still talk about your strengths and like your wins and the kind of impact you're trying to have. Those are good, but it's the kind of more like the fears and like other emotions you're feeling, or like the times you failed.
Well, do you have a certain day you do certain type of posts? Because I have a pattern myself, and so everyone has their own style, and they're slowly fitting into their skin and stuff like that. But do you like save Mondays or Fridays or Wednesdays for particular things?
I try and do lighter stuff during the beginning of the week, just because people are coming out from the weekend, and like most people have kind of a ho-hum attitude towards Mondays, which is unfortunate.
So your engagement on Mondays are a little less, you think?
Yeah, I don't do like, I'm not gonna do like a huge.
Sorry, this is my sin right here. This is one thing I do that's not good for me. Yeah, but I don't care. I'm gonna do it.
You do something short and sweet on Mondays, and like on Fridays, people are kind of getting ready for the weekend, so I usually do something that's a little more fun on the Fridays. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are good for more
like
average size post.
Functional post, I call it. How to do this.
Is a great term,
how to think about getting things done.
So I have your big value add post. Middle of the week.
I have a Monday to Friday, and I don't post every day, but I try to post at least 3 times a week, if not 5. I don't post the weekends, so although I heard that Sundays can really go well or really go bad, depending on the season or your audience and stuff. Like Mondays, I do post something called Keep It Real Mondays. That's something that happened to me, right? It could be good or bad. I posted things on how did I lose this contract, and then how did I resolve not losing them moving forward, because
what do you learn from it? What's the value from that experience? That's what's great for all the stuff on the bottom of the diamond. If you people looking at the worksheet there, all those times you failed, the ending of that story should always be, and here's what I learned, so I'm not going to make that mistake again.
For example, being a technical person, I was a UI UX and a programmer. It's kind of weird left right brain type scenario. But our SOWs, our statement of works, are pretty detailed for the gaming stuff. So I have statement of works that are 150, 250 pages long. So I'm used to being detail oriented on a project, and that's just initial statement of work. It's not all the architecture and all that other stuff. And so that's kind of a contract, and the contract has liability. It has a bunch of stuff in there, even work procedures and how we're going to work, and all those type of things. And as a LinkedIn expert, I realize that no one's going to ever read any of that, and they won't sign it because it's too freaking long, right?
Yeah.
So one of my posts was that I had, and I don't do 150 page SOWs for LinkedIn stuff, but I have a couple different type of clients, and the ones that are monthly, my main clients, they pay X amount per month, and they get some time and support and consultation, and we have human systems in place and all that stuff. But even then, most of those won't sign a 10-page contract. So I got rid of contracts and I made agreements, and I made it to like 3 pages.
Yep.
Like simplify it down to 3 pages because I'm not dealing with other programmers. I'm dealing with people that have different they do different things in life. And so you have to
Yeah.
bring it down to a 3rd grader level, and not saying that anyone is like a 3rd grader, but if you're the expert in what you're doing, they don't know all the terminology. They don't understand those things. So I use that as opposed to kind of like, oh,
Yep.
yeah, don't be such a nerd, Troy. So
Yeah, there's something to avoid for basically all marketing messaging, especially on LinkedIn, is what I like to call jargon monoxide.
jargon monoxide, I like
Puts
that.
people to sleep and kills deals, because when you throw so much jargon and like, if you're ever trying to read a paragraph or something like on a contract and you go, I have no idea what it just said because it's like in legalese.
Yeah.
That's jargon monoxide right there. So if you're especially early on, it'd be great to have people in your network that don't do what you do. Have them read your
Yeah,
post
if
drafts
your
before
audience
you.
is very technical, then you can
Yeah,
kind of
well, one of
steer
the key
towards that direction.
one of the one of steps of creating any piece of content is first starting with what's the result you want to get from posting this. What's like the outcome. Then it's who are you talking to.
Who are you talking to?
You need
Yeah.
to basically know who the audience is and what's gonna resonate with them. Then you can start writing your content and create your story. If you don't know
Right.
what the goal is and who you're talking to, you're not gonna know the right thing to write. It'll be a lot harder to get to write something that's compelling and has the sort of impact you're looking for. Because yeah, if it's a highly technical group, then yeah, maybe you can use more jargon. If it's
Yeah.
more layman, then if that jargon's going to throw people off and they're going to stop reading. And so it's
Well,
part of telling any
I
good
would
story
say
is
a
knowing your
lot of
audience.
it is really how do you connect with that audience? That's it. Like, how do
Yeah,
you
well,
really get to them? Like, and we were talking about posting schedules. I'm so sorry. So my Mondays are Keep It Real Mondays. My Tuesday are Tips Tuesdays. Wednesdays and Thursdays can be anything you want. And Friday is Reflection, Family, and Friends. You know, because we want to reflect of what we did. We want to be thankful. It's a thankful post as well. And those do really well because that combination really shows you're human.
yep,
Another thing too is, and I know we're getting off post, is your profile. People, you're posting this great content, and you got this janky profile. So a lot your profile has to
yep,
reflect your personality. They need to know
yeah,
you as a person. Everything is you as a person. And people say, "Well, I
yeah,
got this company page, and should I be posting a company page?" Well, if your company page is really active, sure, but most likely, 9 out of 10 of my clients and associates is usually on the personal side, unless they're a huge firm that you're managing that, or you have 50,000 followers on the company page, things like that, you make an exception for. But so people are not, if they're going to buy from you and engage with you, they're not going to engage with an entity. They're going to engage with a person.
yeah,
I
yep,
posted something online on the thing, and it's my spreadsheet. So if you're thinking about managing and scheduling, it's not a software; it's a spreadsheet. It's done manually, and so I just have different columns on there. I don't know if I can open this or not, but I don't want to take up too much time. Let me see if I can just open it and then share it. Let's see here. I'll spend 1 minute on that, and can you see the screen?
yep,
Awesome. So this is a simple spreadsheet. And a lot of times they have software to do things and stuff like that. This is a manual document where you have the date, the time, where the asset is. And the asset in this case is on a Google Drive. The visual sometimes is an image. If it's a video, you may want to do a little screen capture and upload the little image. The copy, approval, if it's scheduled, yes or no. Any additional notes, the path on maybe if it's a Google Drive, how to do that. By doing something like this, you can schedule ahead, you can get approved, and it's free. So one major thing, and I'll go ahead and go back to here real quick and then stop the live. Stop sharing. There you go. One major thing is how do you organize? So this is a freebie. Go ahead and feel free to download that to help you organize your information and kind of plan some of that ahead. So I'm not an Excel spreadsheet expert or anything like that, but I think some organization is great. Now, you talked about a lot of softwares don't like LinkedIn, scheduling softwares and things like that. Tell me a little bit.
LinkedIn doesn't like the scheduling software. Yeah, if it, I ran a little test a couple weeks ago where I posted stuff through a little like scheduling service and still engaged with it, but it's got way fewer views and engagement than when I post things myself. And I think it's because LinkedIn's algorithm is smart enough to know that you're using these tools, and because LinkedIn's wanting you to start conversations, and if you're not posting things manually and replying to people's comments and stuff, then you're not starting conversations, so it's going to penalize you for that. So yeah, it does seem like it could be a lot of effort and time.
Most softwares can't even post good stuff. So if I create a PDF or slideshow, most posting schedules won't be able to know how to even deal with that. Polls, they can't deal with that. Videos, a lot of times they can't upload a native video. They'll upload a link to a video, and LinkedIn will punish you for that because it's not native content on LinkedIn. So definitely a lot of tools are not. And I had a client I just picked up, and she's not interested in any tools. She wants to know a manual process because a manual process of engagement, right? And it has a lot to do with posting, but it could be with your outreach and whatever it is that you're doing. A lot of those things you want to do in a manual-esque fashion. And so they pay me to create systems for them, human systems. And you have to say, well, if you're doing this, how would you engage with that other individual? How can you show a level of putting one additional step in there so they know that you're human, So definitely that document is free. And I know there's a lot of tips, and I'll update this pretty soon. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to post one thing here. Oh, I can't. I got to grab it from my phone. Shoot. I'm like, don't know what I'm doing here. Like, they should make this a little easier. What did I want to do? Here you go. I wanted to grab this one link, and I'll go ahead and post it on there. I should have got my executive assistant to do this, but we're going to make it work. So the link that I just posted is tips on how, what, and when. And it's a free resource. We're going to update this document probably on the next day or so to add additional items on it. But it teaches you like what tools to use, how to post, ideal times, hashtags, and there's a couple other things that are pretty new. I just did a post on if you don't have a lot of tools and you just have a phone, right? You can do video. If you can get it in your screen here, if you can get it on your phone, you can do editing for free. So a great tool, believe it or not, is Instagram. Instagram has the ability to create a reel, R-E-E-L, and you can have captions on it. You can grab music and stuff like that, and you can create, and then you can put still images with moving images. You have filters built in, and this is all free. And then you can download it. I don't think it downloads with the music, but if you post it on Instagram, you can use a third-party tool to say download Instagram post. You can download it and then use that for LinkedIn as well. And it's an original video that you've created that you can upload to LinkedIn or any platform really. But the thing is, it really took me. I remember the other day, I said I got this great quote. It's usually middle of the week when I do the great quotes, right? And that's this guy sounds great. Is 4 things to keep in mind in life, right? And I said, oh my goodness. So I was at Chick-fil-A. I was eating lunch with my daughter, and I stood out of my car and I just recorded the sky, right, for 3 seconds or 4 seconds. And then I said, oh, I got these clips here. I'm in the car. I got a clip in the car, I got sky clip, and I said a couple more images. And I swear, I think that post made 8,000 views. And yeah, and I'm sure some people out there get hundreds of thousands of views, but 8,000 is really good for me, right? And it was really good because it's authentic. It had a great set of points already, and I used Instagram. I just boop, 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 upload it, bam, and it was ended up being a LinkedIn post.
Yeah, it's really
don't you have a
amazing
course or something, Carl?
Yeah, I just put a link in the chat there. I'm doing a monthly workshop. It's on the August 11th from noon to 2 Pacific time. We're going to cover how to fill out your character diamond, and also more about kind of formatting for the content and how to basically the process for actually writing content, so that it takes you less time and you're able to get more stories into your LinkedIn and your other social media, and like your blogs and your newsletters, that sort of stuff. So if you're looking for more help and available at that time, then check out the link and register. There's only about 15 spots per month, but I'm looking forward to helping people tell better stories and help them be able to use that to attract more of their best clients.
All right. Well, I don't want to absorb too much of everyone's time. I do have a kind of a hard stop, because if I don't make it to the bus stop, I'm a bad parent. I'm thinking about getting the air tags and tagging her so to make sure I know where she's at, because I'm kind of like leery with the school bus and everything. It's just so little. But so I have to leave by 2 and change. But what I want to do is, number one, I want to thank you for being here and speaking on your personal story and how you use that to flip it around to actually engage with other individuals. That's awesome. The second thing is, I just posted on the link to everyone to take a look at the workshop where you can actually post better. I also invite everyone to take a look at the link that I provided. What I want you to do, Carl, is if you have an individual post that you want to add to it. So what I use is LinkedIn articles as more of a central point. And that one link that I posted up there with my LinkedIn article has 7 videos. So what I was going to add is I have a restream video, because restreaming is posting LinkedIn live content. So it's about distribution of content. And I have another one about how to technically do the Instagram thing. Have a post on that, and I'll add that to that list. I invite you, if you have anything particular or specific on creating content, what tools to use, how to do it, what days to do what, how to schedule or how to manage that, feel free to go ahead and let me know, and I'll go ahead and add it to that article there.
Sure. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, Carl, I talk a lot, so I'll let you have the last word.
Thanks. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me on the show. It's always great to kind of collaborate with you, and it's been a fun conversation. And I think I've been definitely gained a lot of value from the content, or like the stuff I've done with you, like the workshops I've been to that you've hosted and stuff you do with on LinkedIn has been very inspiring. And I think it's there's so much that value people can gain for their businesses by sharing the right sort of stories online, and it's people have more to share than they probably realize personally that is worth sharing to other people, that people actually will care about if you tell the story properly. So if you take away anything from this little LinkedIn live discussion we've had, is that it's worth leaning into the discomfort of being vulnerable and sharing more about yourself and the stories of what you've experienced, and not just the wins and the kind of Instagram perfect persona that so many people try to present online. And it's it'll be a little uncomfortable, but it's totally worth going through that to get better connected with your best clients and bring in more revenue.
Yep. And with that said, I appreciate everyone showing up. I don't know why technically I got a lot of notes on the actual LinkedIn Live page that people could not see it. So I don't know. So I added the link to my profile on there, and hopefully people joined on there. But thank you for your patience. And I think next time I'll know a little more what to do. I think the technical thing is just a technical thing that happened, but maybe I'll design a background or something, So we'll try to do this every week. I'm going to try to do it probably, I don't know if I'm going to do it 1 or 3 o'clock. And I do have my monthly shows, but feel free to go ahead and engage, connect with Carl or connect with me, send a note and just say we're on LinkedIn Live. And most likely, unless Carl doesn't like you, he'll accept you as a connection.
Yeah, I will definitely accept if you mention you saw us on LinkedIn Live. I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh, you're going to get away, peasant. It's not that guy.
Do it with an accent.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.